I knew the first time I tried these Korean corn dogs, I had to learn how to make them and I had to make them at home. So stick around to see just how easy and delicious they are. All right, let's get into these Korean corn dogs, you guys. You're going to start by gathering all of your ingredients. You're going to need some all-purpose flour, some warm water, and some yeast. And we are using instant yeast for this recipe so that we don't have to wait too long for the dough to rise. If you only have active dry yeast, that's okay. Just head to razzledazzlelife.com or check the caption. I give you all of the instructions you need to let your dough rise so that you can get the perfect coating for these Korean corn dogs. Once you get all of your ingredients added to the bowl, your dough should look something like this. Your dough will be pretty sticky and pretty tacky. As you can see here, it's not going to be a very, very tight dough like you would see with bread. Once you get everything mixed up all nice and well, go ahead and cover this up and set it aside. Since we used an instant yeast for this dough, we don't need to let it rise for very long. We're just going to set it aside while we get everything else prepared for our Korean corn dogs. So go ahead and grab your sausage of choice. Here I have some beef hot dogs. I went ahead and cut them in half. And we also have some mozzarella cheese sticks that we cut in half as well. You're going to need some corn dog skewers for this recipe. I have them linked in the description box. And while our dough is resting back there, we're going to go ahead and assemble our Korean corn dogs. I wanted half of the corn dog to be the beef sausage and half of it to be the cheese, so I went ahead and added the hot dog to the bottom half and the cheese to the top half. And y'all, it does take a little bit of maneuvering and a little bit of muscle to get that beef sausage and cheese on these sticks. But just continue building all of your corn dogs as you want. If you want all cheese, go ahead and add your whole cheese stick, or if you want a whole sausage dog, just add the whole hot dog to your skewer. For this corn dog, I wanted all sausage, and then I went ahead and wrapped a piece of cheese around the outside of the sausage so that we could have the cheese and the hot dog together. For this corn dog, it took a lot of manipulation because I had to try to get that cheese to stay around the corn dog. So if you use this method, I highly recommend that you let your cheese come to room temperature. This one here was pepper jack cheese. It might be easier to use American cheese since it's more pliable. But I have to admit that this was one of my favorite corn dogs of all of them because you had a piece of the sausage and the piece of the cheese together. It was too good, y'all. While you guys are here, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can stay tuned for all of these easy and delicious recipes I'm serving up for you. Now that you have all of your corn dogs assembled, you are going to heat up some oil over medium heat in a deep skillet. Then you want to grab that batter that you made earlier and get your corn dogs and go ahead and dip each corn dog into the batter one by one. You might want to use the cup method, which means you pour the batter into a deep cup and you just dip the corn dogs directly into the batter. Here I just used a bowl and it worked perfectly. It might get a little messy for you. I had to use my hands to go ahead and wrap that dough all around the corn dogs to make sure that they were fully coated. It ended up being a super messy but super fun process. Once you get that dough wrapped around, then you're going to dip your corn dogs into your Panko breadcrumbs. The Panko add a super crunchy and delicious element to these corn dogs. And be sure you are super generous with that panko because you want them to be so crunchy. Once your oil is heated up to about 350 degrees, you're just going to place that corn dog right into the oil very gently. And I'm telling you, these things cooked so fast, so make sure you keep an eye on your corn dogs while you're making the other ones. So we're continuing the process. You're going to go ahead and dip all of your other corn dogs one by one as you're making them. I spun this corn dog around in the dough. It kind of started to fall off. So again, I had to use my hands to manipulate the dough and make sure that it was covering every single crevice of the corn dog. Again, if you have a glass cup or any kind of deep container, you can add your dough straight into the container and just dip your corn dogs accordingly. But don't be afraid to use your hands and get a little messy with this recipe. And I want these Korean corn dogs to taste as authentic as possible. So once I got that excess dough washed off my hands, I actually coated these corn dogs with some potatoes. It's super simple. You're just going to take some frozen French fries, let them thaw out a bit, and cut them up into cubes. Then you're going to actually place your coated corn dog right in the potato mixture and just kind of press the potatoes into the dough like I'm doing here. Once you get them nice and coated with the potatoes, then you're going to place them in the panko mixture and just fill in the gaps with the panko. You just want to dip the corn dog right into the panko and then use your hands to make sure that it's pressed in between the gaps between the potato and on the dough to make a super crispy corn dog. After you get everything pressed into the dough perfectly like so, you're going to gently add it into the oil and allow it to fry for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Make sure you keep an eye on the corn dogs, turn them frequently, and remove them as soon as they turn golden brown because they cook super duper fast, you guys. Once your corn dogs are golden brown and crispy like so, go ahead and remove them from the hot oil and add them to a cooling rack or a bed of paper towels so that you can drain all of the excess grease. Drizzle your corn dogs with some mustard and some ketchup. Add a sprinkle of sugar for that authentic flavor. The cheese pull on these corn dogs is everything. They are so delicious, addictively delicious. Grab the full recipe link in the description box below. Be sure to like, save, and follow, and subscribe for more, and enjoy.